Hey YouTube land, Witchy Nicole here. I wanted to do a book review slash book report, kind of a little bit of a history on Yule since it's Yule time. With this book, I love this book because I bought this book on Samhain, and so I'm kind of going with it with the seasons when they change because it has Samhain as the first one, and then Yule, and then Imbolc, and then obviously Astra, Beltane, Litha, Lunista, and then Mabon. So, each part of as the year goes and everything, I always read just the little section on it. So that's why I like this book, because I know it's going to take me a year to read it, but it kind of just throws off some history a little bit in it too. So it gives me something to do if I don't have something to do for that day too. So, plus it has, it's spells, rituals, holidays, celebration, and this is by Judy Ann Nock. I've done this video about 15 times, so I don't know if I told you that already. So a little bit on Judy Ann Nock. She's a high priestess, and she offers a definitive guide to the wheel of the year, capturing the essence of both the major and lesser holidays. This complete and practical reference refers something for everyone, from history, recipes, to the crafts, to rituals, spells, and meditation, regardless of your level of practice. Now, I left the practice for years, so a lot of the stuff that I read years and years and years and years ago, I've pretty much forgot, unless if it was something like really important. So then and it wasn't just because I went to a different religion. No, that's not what happened. Just life got in the way, so I had to leave it, pretty much leave it alone. Plus, with raising kids and stuff like that, I really wasn't comfortable around it. So, because of the fact that I just, I know how much flack I got from it, I didn't want to see my kids do that. Now that they're older and they can pretty much speak their own mind, I mean, they're 11, 7, and 5, and they think that they talk like a 30-year-old sometimes, but, kids nowadays, I swear. Anyways, so, now I could sit there and start teaching them about the wheel of the year and teaching them about history and stuff like that. That's why I like the book too, because it gives them a little more of an education than what they get in the school too. So I think that where I was going with that is, I actually think that this is a good beginner book, because when you begin, you want to know, yeah, we got the cycles of the year and stuff like that, but coming into this religion, we don't, for the longest time, I didn't know what an Esbit was. I didn't know what a Sabbat was. I didn't know what Beltane was, or Lunista, or Imbolc. I didn't know what the words were, or, and what they represented and stuff like that. So this is a good beginner book, I think. So anyways, getting into the book, I do have 3 sources, and it comes from her book, it comes from Britannica.com, and it comes from, I do have a wiki, and I know they're not a reliable source, so don't shoot me, okay? Anyways, so I'm just going to give a little bit about what she says in the book and whatnot, on the history of Yule. Now, I didn't do the whole thing, so it's just the first section, because I wanted to leave a little bit of meat on there for you. So if you go and buy that book, you could be like, oh, well, she didn't explain this part, and you have something for it. So anyways, okay, so this time of the year is when it's the shortest days of the year. The sun is actually on the celestial equator, and that kind of confuses me because I'm not really into the astrology part, so I don't really understand celestial equator. So I'm thinking that it's the little white rings that you get around each planet. So those are at 0 degrees. Instead of, you got the little white rings, and then you got the actual equator on the Earth. So anyways, so that's at 0% according to her book. The word winter solstice comes from the Latin word, and I'm going to butcher this because I've done this video about 15 times because of this word, is solstitit. S-T-E-T-I-T, which means the sun stands still. So the winter solstice is the time of the longest night when the sun is at the lowest point of the horizon. So if you got a horizon, it'd be the lowest point down here. Which the sun shines directly over the Tropic of Capricorn. So you got, here's my, make-believe Earth and whatever. So the Tropic of Capricorn is like over here. So, like, it's shining down on it, and the Tropic of Capricorn, it says it's at 23.5 degrees latitude south, parallel to the equator, which makes sense to me because of the fact that, this is the time where it's Capricorn anyway, so, it's shining on Tropic of Capricorn. I can remember that. The origins of Yule is not 100%. They think that it comes from the Saxon word wheel, or H-W-E-L, but I don't know how you would pronounce that, really, so that's why I spelt it. They say it's a Christian-based religion, but it's actually not. Jesus wasn't, from what I've watched on, Discovery Channel, learned it through history, other history books. I don't have a quote on this, but they think that it's about, somewhere in the summertime that he was actually born. So, they bicker back and forth when he was born and whatnot. So December 25th is actually when Mithraism is perceived and stuff like that. So there's two things, and this is where the wiki comes from. And Mithra is the Iranian god of the sun. Justice, contract, and war to pre-Zoroastrian Iran. Again, found on Wikipedia. But that was around 600 BC to 650. Now, the one from Britannica.com by Reinhold Markelbach, and it's titled Mithraism, Persian Religion, and that one, again, is found on Britannica.com. He states that the Roman Empire during the 2nd and 3rd century CE, this deity was honored as the patron of loyalty to the emperor after the acceptance of Christianity by the Emperor Constantine in the early 4th century. So I guess after that, that's when Mithra died out, I guess. So if you know a little bit more about it, please do a video response, because like it kind of jumps around and I can't find like a good source for that. But also Yule time is the celebration said to be a Roman observance of Saturnalia. It's actually a festival that they celebrated for the god Saturn. And the festival started around December 17th and it ended around December 25th. Now I don't understand this part, but around this time Saturn gets taken over by Jupiter, so it's almost like Zeus or Kronos getting taken over by Zeus. Sorry, reading my notes. So around this time again, like you got the summertime, the spring to summer, and going into fall, you got the harvest times and stuff like that. So you pick everything that you can and can it and preserve it and stuff like that for the winter times. Well, the winter times, what you do with your meat is you salt it, and you got salted beef. I know salted fish. I don't think that they could do chicken at that time. If you actually go and research like food and stuff like that, you'll actually find out a lot of history too. Like purple potatoes were poisonous at one time, and corn actually wasn't what you see today. It was actually like this big. So anyways, so they salted it and then they buried it or put it in wherever they kept, their coldest point was in their area and whatnot, and got to preserve actual meat. So every time I read this part, it kind of makes me giggle because you never really hear this part of the history. So during Saturnalia, it was, you know, you got drinking and, you know, you got ale, wine, mead at that time. So, and at that time, about, you know, when it came to this time of the year, you know, it was basically party time because all the hard work was done. You can't really do anything during this time of the year. So what they would do is they would hold social role reversals where the master of the house would play as servant and the servant would play as masters. Judy Ann states it's so they can make up for their harsh treatment during the first half of the year. So that's what I got so far for the Yule report and everything. If you have any other information and whatnot, comment it below. If you want to correct me on anything, comment that down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. So, yeah. If you want to make a video response, please do that, because I would love to see, you know, the information and stuff like that, because I'm constantly sitting there spinning my wheels trying to find all this cool information and stuff like that. So either make a video response, email me. Like I said, Lilokin, please, I probably didn't say this in the video starting of this video because I did it 15 times, but Lilokin, don't gig me. I'm going to try to put it all in the down bar, but I don't think I can because I'm doing this off my phone. So that's why I sourced it on verbally. So anyways, have a good night and blessed be a good day.